Greetings from the land of 1,000 hills. We have just launched the Rwanda Philanthropy Forum, and we couldn't be more grateful to our members and partners in Rwanda. And now the spotlight turns to one of our key members, a very supportive partner in Rwanda, Spark MicroGrants. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Albert Uwayo to this platform. Good afternoon, and how are you, sir?
Good afternoon. How are you? I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
We are very grateful to you.
Yeah.
Can you speak to our audience about yourself and an overview about Spark MicroGrants and the work that you do in Rwanda?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure to share what we are doing here in Rwanda. So my name is Uwayo Albert. I work for Spark MicroGrants here in Rwanda. So I'm a program director. Spark MicroGrants is an international non-government organization that was founded here in Rwanda, but actually is working across Africa, in East Africa and West Africa. In East Africa, we are based just in Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Malawi, and in West, we are working in Liberia and Ghana.
All right.
So Spark MicroGrants is an organization that is promoting a community-driven approach, development approach, and we have our approach, what we call Facilitated Collective Action Process, FCAP. So that brings together community members, and then they share their ideas until they have any project that they implement on their own.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Interesting, and thanks for speaking about community-driven impact. And I want to understand more about that one aspect. It seems to be the cornerstone of your model. Right. And from your experience, how does empowering communities to design their projects foster long-term commitment and success compared to more conventional top-down approaches?
So as you said, our approach is like challenging the traditional way of development, the top-down, where decisions are made from above, and then the beneficiaries are just executing. So for Spark MicroGrants, they came up with that approach I talked about, facilitate the collective action process, where the main elements of it is about facilitation. What does it mean? So when we bring together community members, we ensure that everyone has the space to speak up, to share his or her views, and then they build a kind of consensus through that facilitation, and then they can move together knowing where they're going. And from those discussions at community level, then arise something like the project that the community can implement to solve some of their problems they have in the community. So that's how it is built. So the main is the facilitation, but also to ensure that the community members, they have the power to take decisions on their own instead of waiting for external people like those top leaders to tell them what to do. It's up to them to show what they need, how they can do it, and also to monitor actually the implementation of it.
That's really amazing to hear, Albert. And implementing a model requires trust building with the communities, right? So do you want to share with us any instance where your trust with communities was maybe tested, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. As I said, imagine our approach is bringing all the households within the community. And maybe before that, everyone was working separately. So it's very important to build that trust, to ensure that 2, 3, 10, 100 people can sit together and have a common vision, a common understanding of where they want to go. So this requires exactly to build the trust, and the trust is built how? Just through those regular community meetings. So our approach, the way it works, when they are in just 3 phases. There is the first phase, which we call the planning phase. And during the planning phase, all community members, they choose the day, the hour, and the site, which is convenient for everyone, where they will be meeting every week. for at least 2 hours each meeting. So the more they come together every week, that time allows them to know each other better, even if they are in the same village, but they are working in silos. But when they are sitting together discussing the same ideas, they start understanding each other's opinions, how each can contribute to the well-being of the community. And as the time goes on, then the trust is being built. And also, because, you know, when you are discussing, people might have different ideas, different opinions. So there are also some techniques that our facilitators use to ensure that they bring them together to a common decision. So all of those like help them really to build their trust. And which is also very important for our approach, is that when we give them the grant, they're not going to divide that grant into themselves.
That's true.
They will build one project, a communal project. So all of those factors then really, they breed all over time that trust within our community members.
Amazing. You spoke about facilitated collective action process, Albert, which is very central to your operations. Kindly provide an insight into a particularly successful project born from that process. Yeah, and tell us what made it stand out.
So that approach that we promote is not like imposing community members what to do as a project.
All right.
You know, maybe there are some organizations that are specialized either in education, in infrastructure, in health. So our approach opens the door to any project the community can implement. But of course, we have to know also what are the needs of the community. So there are some also like barriers to not choose any project because it's a project. So, so that means that we have a various number of projects. We have communities that are implementing livestock projects. We have communities that are doing business like motor transport business. We have communities that are building the schools across different regions where we are working. So that's to show how open the FCAP is to allow communities to implement many projects. So I can select like one project and maybe tell you how is the process.
Yes.
So once the community has started the process, they start by like electing their leaders. We know that normally they are normal leaders following the political administrative structure at village level. We have them. But we want also to build that leadership skills within the community. So they elect their leaders. They set some ground rules that will like govern their meetings, if they are behaving when they are meeting as a community. And then later, they start by identifying or discussing what do they have as a need, as a problem within their village. So they go through what we call a resource mapping to know what they have in the community, and that allows them also to identify what they miss in the community. Then from there, they can set a goal and a vision. So where do we want to be as a community in 5 and 10 years? From there, they can set then goals. So to make sure that we are meeting our vision, let us set a specific goal, which we can measure in 1 and 2 years. After like selecting that goal, then they start brainstorming the project. We call them the pathways.
Yeah.
So which kind of projects can help us to reach our goal and to also reach our vision? Then they brainstorm different projects. From there, they will also have techniques to prioritize and select the top priority project they want to start with. It doesn't mean that others are not needed, but they have to also prioritize the urgent one.
All right.
So after doing that, they go through a process which we call the proposal development to identify the need, the requirements of implementing that project, who will do what kind of resources do we need, where can we find those resources. So they finalize it and then they have the project. So then I can take like one project.
Yeah.
Among the projects communities are having here in Rwanda, there is like a pig rearing project, for example.
All right.
So we provide 8,000 USD to each community as a grant to implement the selected project. But that grant, as of now, is divided into 2 installments, 60% and then 40%. So if they select those the pig rearing project, they will see how many pigs you will get from the grant you are going to receive. And then from there, if they see that we will get, for example, 30 pigs and you are 100 households in the village, then they have different techniques to identify who will start to rear that pigs. Then suppose that we have one person who is already rearing the pig. So the pig is producing so quickly. That's why some of the villages or communities are like selecting that project. So when the pig is producing now, when it has been given to the household, it produces, you can sell some of the piglets, you get money, and from that money you can do many things. So that is the kind of the story. Some have been like selling those piglets, getting some money, they invest in other things like buying the plots, or paying the school fees for the kids, or rehabilitating or renovating the household they have.
Yeah.
So some of those kind of, yeah. So there are many types of the projects.
Good work.
Thank you.
You spoke about inclusivity, and to be specific, including communities to the decision-making processes.
Yeah.
It's always a very challenging thing to achieve.
Yeah.
How do you go about it, and what challenges have you faced in ensuring that the marginalized voices are heard and represented effectively?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's very interesting. So I think it's common in different countries. Here in Rwanda, recently we have been changing the way or the categories where different people are in. So when we start, as I said, we don't focus to like individual or some kind of specific people within the community.
Yeah.
Every household in the community is eligible to joining our approach, our process. So it doesn't mean the poorest, the marginalized one, the rich people, orphans, widows, everyone. We don't select and identify this should be our beneficiaries. That's one. So those are open to everyone within the community. At least in the process, each household should be represented when they are coming to the meeting. Second, maybe for inclusivity, we are also focusing on women.
All right.
Yeah, because we know that traditionally here in Africa and also in Rwanda, women have not have those opportunities to take some leadership or to speak up during the meetings and whatever. That's true. So for us, we have like 40%, for example, of the leadership committee of the community that we lead the community flow of the process should be the women. That's one. And also when they attend, we track attendance and participation. By attendance, we mean people who are coming to the meetings. So we see what is the percentage of the women that are attending the meetings. And we are expecting like 40% of them to be part of the meeting.
All right.
And also when we track the participation, we mean people who have been like sharing ideas, giving feedback, commenting, asking questions, so they are participating in the meetings.
All right.
Again, 40% of them, we expect that women, suppose that 80 people have been contributing during the meetings. We expect also that 40-45% of those who have been expressing the ideas are women. So this is to show how we try to be inclusive. Yeah. And also, when it comes to the implementation, we have some villages or communities. When I say community, village is the same. Yeah. Some communities that are implementing like livestock projects, like now cows, not pigs. So they are requiring a lot to rear them, to take care of those animals. So when we see there are some old people who cannot really be able to take care of those animals, so the community sits and identify, based on their ideas, what they can do for them, so that everyone is benefiting from the project. All right. So as you said, there are some challenges also. If we are expecting every household to be present in the meeting, there are some challenges. People, for example, with disabilities, they might not be able to join the meeting because of the distance, for example. So communities have been trying to have the meeting site nearby them, but if they are located in different areas within the community, it might be challenging. And also the oldest people, they might not be able to come to the meetings. So there are different ways then to go back and talk to them and hear what they need from the community.
Impressive, quite impressive. And so, Albert, sustainability is a major concern for many initiatives.
Yeah.
And I would love to know, how does Spark's approach, especially with emphasis on saving groups and community elected leadership, contribute to the sustainability of your projects beyond the initial microgrant?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Good questions. So our approach is like encouraging community members to have 3 types of projects.
Right.
The first one, you have talked about it. When we give the grant, the project that is implemented using the grant, we call it microgrant project.
Yeah.
We have what we call advocacy projects. There are some big projects which requires many resources, a lot of resources, and the community and the grant cannot be sufficient to implement such projects.
Right.
So encourage community members to identify also those projects and make advocacy to other stakeholders, other partners within the area, including the government, to support and implement them.
Right.
It might be, for example, to build a bridge, a road, a school, something like that. We have also what we call initiative projects or initiative pathway. This is the project that community members implement with their own resources, their own raised money.
Okay.
Can be money, but also in-kind contribution.
All right.
So when it comes to money, then that comes the saving groups. During the planning phase, we also create the saving group. And the community members will decide the amount of money and the frequency of contributing to that saving group. And then they set a target. That's where is maybe the difference with other practices I've been seeing around. For us, they don't contribute and share out at the end of a cycle. At the end of the cycle, they have a target. Either they have said, we need some household utensils. So instead of giving you money, they will go on the market and buy those materials and distribute to community members to ensure that really the money is well used, because I can get that share and go do whatever I want. Sure. Others after that, they can say we need chairs. When I have visitors at home, they are sitting on the ground. So they have those kind of initiatives, and this is really contributing a lot to the sustainability issue that you are raising.
Yeah.
Because when the money is coming from yourself, you have to follow up. You have an eye on it. When you go to the meeting, you ask for the reports.
Yeah.
So this it is really a bound for the community and sustain, because every time they are contributing, they have strict rules on that, and they have how to follow up, and they are seeing tangible things coming from those savings.
Yeah. So yeah, I do not believe you do all this amazing work in a siloed way. And so could you maybe talk to us about collaboration that was very vital in enhancing your outreach and impact? Yeah, here in Rwanda.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, as you say, to reach like a big number of communities, we cannot do it ourselves. That's what we believe in. So we have been partnering here in Rwanda with local governments to support us to implement the project. When Spark started here in Rwanda, our team members were directly interacting with community members.
All right.
But as we want to scale to other regions or districts here in Rwanda, we saw it would not be like effective. So we partnered with government to support us to implement the project.
All right. So
it starts from the central level, of course. We have a memorandum of understanding with central level institutions like LODA and MINALOC, Ministry of Local Administration. And then when we go to the local district, local government, we also partner with them. And we have been discussing with them to see who on the side of the government is in the best position to support implementing our projects. So when I see the administrative structure here in Rwanda, After the community or the village, which you call the village, we have the cell. And at cell level, we have two staff, government staff. One being the Social Economic Development Officer, the SEDO. Then it was identified that that can be the best fit for our work.
Sure.
So we train them fully on our approach. And at community level, the communities are selecting two people. We call them community-based facilitators, the CBFs. Actually, before it was Spark to do the work the community-based facilitators are doing, to interact, to facilitate the community meetings. But then, after identifying that we can partner with the local government, we train the SEDOs, the government staff, on our approach, and they are the ones to train the community facilitators who will actually go around and facilitate community meetings.
Yeah.
So this has helped us a lot, because imagine if we are in today like 7 sectors with around 40 cells, we could not have like 40 people, staff, Spark staff, to go and do what the SEDOs are doing on our behalf. So partnership is really very key, and it doesn't end at cell level. At sector level also we have others who are supporting. Because as I told you, each community is free to choose any project. And they might lack, or they don't have the capabilities, the skills that are needed to implement the project. So they need what we call a technical advisor. So for each community, we assign, together with the government, a technical advisor. If, as I said, 2 examples of livestock, if it's a livestock project, the sector veterinary will be supporting as a technical advisor to tell the people how to take care of the animals so that they become more productive. When they are sick, to come and treat them. And this is the role of those also technical advisors. So if, for example, construction, we need an engineer from the government.
All right.
So that partnership has been helping a lot, because also they are seeing that what we are doing for the community members, it is also what the government is doing.
All right.
So our end users, beneficiaries are the same.
Yeah.
That's why then our support is going well, and we have been really appreciating that it is helping us to scale our approach across the country.
So training local partners seems to be a very strategic move to scale your model without using its essence. So how do you ensure that these partner organizations uphold the quality and the integrity of the model, your model, as they implement it independently?
Yeah, good question. So we have different platforms that we have established to ensure that really they are meeting the requirements and they are doing a work of quality.
Yeah.
First of all, after trainings, they go through the test. That's normal, post-training and whatever. But we have like the monthly, the weekly check-ins. Our staff that are on the field, they are having weekly check-ins with those SEDOs to ensure that they are understanding better what they have to deliver. So what do? They review what have been done, for example, the last week, and identify some challenges, discuss together how to address those challenges, and also to plan for the weekly work. Then also after a month, they have a gathering again to see how the month has been going. So that's some of the strategies. But also at upper levels, on a quarterly basis, we are having what we call district task force meeting. The district officials, sector officials, cell officials, village representatives, Spark staff, we sit together and discuss how the project is going. So those are some of the measures we have to ensure that the work is going well. But also for those trainings, we provide refresher trainings when we identify that it is needed. But also maybe I can touch a bit on the M&E aspect.
Sure.
We have also a way to track how the project on community level, how the community work is going. And we use smartphones. Those community members, they have the smartphones to use. They provide the data into online applications. And our CBFs, community-based facilitators, those government officials, they say those, the Spark itself, they all have access to that platform. So on a weekly basis, we can track and know what is going on the community level. And also that staff from the government is aware of that. So that also helps to keep improving the work and identify on early stages what is not going on, and then provide the changes accordingly.
I'm totally loving this conversation.
Oh, thank you. Me too.
Yeah, so the development sector is rapidly evolving. I am sure you're aware. And with an increasing emphasis on community agency and sustainable impact. So from a Spark's perspective, what are some of the outdated practices in the sector that need rethinking or rather restructuring, and how is Spark contributing to this paradigm shift?
Oh, yeah, complex one.
Not so complex.
Yeah, as I said, for the community-driven approach we are using, this is somehow like challenging that traditional way of top-down development. And this is what we are trying to do to ensure that Spark can become like a community-driven center for such approaches, because we have been trying it for more than a decade and it is working, and we have been testing it also not only in Rwanda but across Africa and different regions, showing that it can be adapted to different contexts. Some of other maybe things that have to be changed is how we use we take advantage of the technologies to support the development work. Maybe at Spark, how do we do it? I have already given an example of how our community facilitators are using the smartphones to collect data reports, and also then it can help everyone wherever you are to access the data and take decisions based on that. But also when it comes to the trainings also, we are actually introducing, we have a project, we call it FCAP in your pocket.
Okay.
I told you the FCAP is our approach in abbreviation. So FCAP in my pocket, we have seen that in-class trainings is really very expensive. It requires time for the people to come and attend for 5 days, maybe, for the trainings. You will pay the venue and other logistics that are associated to that. So the FCAP in my pocket, we hope it will help us then to see what are some of the sessions we deliver as a training that can be learned on mobile phones using these technologies. So this is another revolution that we are bringing to see how then it can help people to learn on their own and support where needed in person. So then technologies, these bottom-up approaches, I think, are some of the things that Spark is encouraging to challenge that old systems or methodologies.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's no way you could be doing all this work without monitoring and evaluation frameworks, right?
Yeah.
And so could you explain how your approach to monitoring and evaluation is unique, and how it ensures that the lessons learned on the ground shape future projects and strategies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I have tackled about it a bit.
Yeah.
But as I said, we have the community-based facilitators. Those are the first to support us in monitoring how the work is going. How? By using those smartphones, and you have applications which we call ComCare that they use to collect and to report on data. That's one. It helps everyone, as I said, the SEDO, our partners, the local government, the staff at Spark level to visualize those data and take decisions for the future.
Yeah.
Secondly, we have seen that we cannot only rely on internal data to say that what we are doing is good. We are also working with external firms to conduct external evaluations so that they can show the impact really from an external eye. So recently we have Literate in Rwanda and IPA that are conducting external evaluations, and we are happy for the results that we are seeing. They are really encouraging and motivating us. But also at Spark, again, coming back to internal level, before starting working with the community, we have the baseline to know how are the communities we are going to work with. We have a midline and also we have end line. But actually, we have seen that it is not easy because our FCAP is like working for the community for 2 years. So in 2 years, you cannot really measure the impact of the project.
Sure.
So and it is one of the learnings we are asking. So then what we have learned is that we need to like take more time. Even if the Spark, the FCAP has been in the community for 2 years, but our approach or our desire with the government of Rwanda is that can be replicated every year. What does it mean? When Spark steps out after 2 years, we want that process to continue. Then after 10 years, maximum 5-10 years, we are envisioning to come back and see again how are the results. Are the communities still meeting? Are they still having common projects? And to see then the results.
Yeah.
So we have those different approaches to the M&E side.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So finally, considering the ripple effect of your work as Spark, can you share how your initiatives have inspired similar models or practices in other regions or sectors? Any that you know of?
Yeah, thank you. So as I said, the Spark started here in Rwanda like 12 years ago. After seeing that it is working, as I said before, we were wondering, is this an approach that can work also elsewhere?
Yeah.
That's why, as I said, it has been brought to Uganda, to Malawi, to Burundi, to Liberia. And mainly, maybe I can give an example of in Ghana. Sorry. The approach is being used there to support communities that are affected by mining companies. So here it was an issue maybe for reduction of the poverty, but there is another issue, an illegal issue of mining. Communities are being affected. So we have been using our FCAP to bring people together in the communities that are affected and to make advocacy so that they can get compensated, or the companies that are like exploiting then the mines can first assess well the impact on the community. For example, recently there was a community that was affected, they didn't have like a clean water because of those mining activities, and due to that advocacy, the government has intervened and asked the company first to address that issue before continuing the activities. So this shows that the FCAP can really work in different contexts. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's take a futuristic approach in this conversation. Your theory of change speaks to strengthening communities so they can steer their social, political, and economic futures. Are there early indicators you observe that signal to you a community is moving in a self-determined direction?
Okay, thank you. So as you said, our theory of change is expecting that the community is improving the livelihoods, and that's the side of the economic, I can say, and also social inclusion, and that can be the side of the social, and then I can talk also on how also the political ones. So from the economic aspect, as I said, they have different projects that are supporting them to improve their livelihoods.
Right.
I have given some examples on livestock project. We have communities that are having like a loaning scheme. We have communities that are doing businesses, like they are credit and loaning, kind of. So those are benefiting the communities to get some like economic benefits. If you have livestock, you get manure, you fertilize your land, you expect more yield, and so on. So that's an aspect of, for example, from the economic perspective.
Yeah.
But also we have seen that those who are doing business, they are able now to feed their kids. We have seen that in the recent media evaluation that the rate of people or households that were eating once a day has reduced by 13% in over 1 year. So this is a kind of to see how really they are benefiting economically. On annual basis here, Rwandans, we are paying health insurance, health insurance scheme. Or the communities we are supporting, some of their savings, some of those who are doing their business, their profits, they are putting in paying the health insurance for their households. So those are some of the benefits. From the social aspect, as I said, already bringing people together, having common meetings, there is some trust that is being built within the community, but also to have the identity of I belong to this or that community. So there, for example, I can share that we can identify that there is a need in our community. And recently we had like a floods in Rwanda in May or April.
Yeah.
Some of our community members were also affected. So the community has then said, okay, let's go and support our community member whose the building, the house was destroyed. So they have contributed. This is already showing how social bound within the community, the social cohesion is like increasing.
Yeah.
Expected outcome of the FCAP or approach.
Yeah.
Politically, as I said, we are also already like partnering with local government. And here in Rwanda, we have some government programs like community work. We call that Muganda. We could have the Inteko y'abaturage. It's like a kind of assembly where community members are meeting on a weekly basis to discuss some issues, conflict, and find solutions. So the attendance has been not good in some of those platforms. But for the FCAP meetings, the local government officials, they are telling us now the attendance to the community has increased. And then it became like an opportunity for local government to pass through those FCAP meetings, different programs, mobilizations, and so on. So it helps then also to connect with community members so easily, but also community members, they are now free to talk to the leaders because they have been empowered to express, as I said, through our approach, their voices. So the relationships with community members and their local leaders, it has been really increasing and improving over time, which is also another side which is good for our program.
Yeah. We are almost winding up. And before I let you go, looking towards the future, how is Spark MicroGrants preparing to adapt its models in the face of global challenges and challenges such as the digital divide, climate change, or political unrest?
Thank you. Yeah, good question. So I can start from the digital one because I have talked about it and I will not be like detailed this time.
Yeah.
I said that now our community members who are facilitating the meetings, they use those smartphones, for example, to correct data and report on a weekly basis. So at any time, anyone who is like interacting with our data can get data easily. And if there is any issue, he or she can request the feedback and whatever.
Yeah.
Second, as I said also, we are trying to bring in another training using technologies.
All right.
Where people, instead of coming in the class, they can learn from their phones, from their computers, and so on. So this is another example. The climate change, actually, worldwide, I think it's a hot topic.
It is.
Yes, and for us also. So for our projects, let you know that today we are implementing a project with the funds from the World Bank.
Yeah.
And one of the requirements was to see how the project communities are selecting are impacting the environment. So we have developed what we call the socio-economic environmental checklist, something like that, where what the community has prioritized the project, they assess how that project can have impact on the environment, on the social, on whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a step that you have made. But actually, here in Rwanda specifically, we are going to pilot to partner with another organization which is working in a conservation to see how we can have what we are calling the green FCAP. Green FCAP meaning that want an FCAP that is really taking into consideration those environmental changes that are occurring currently, and ensure that really we have those climate change or environmental aspects within our approach, so that really we support our communities to have that resilience in terms of adapting to climate change. Yeah, not only here in Rwanda, but also in Malawi, we are going to test that. So we are trying to be updated.
Which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Albert, finally, expanding on your vision, what next frontier of impact is Spark MicroGrants looking to reach? Are there new initiatives or strategies on the horizon designed to deepen or broaden the work you're doing?
Yeah, thank you so much. So Spark is currently trying to see how to scale, for example, in Rwanda nationwide. We have been so far working in around 400 villages, but we are now discussing with the central government to see how we can bring this approach in all the villages, in all communities of Rwanda. And in the next 5 years, we are aiming to cover 3,000 communities. So which is a big change, a big scale. And this will require us to adopt some of the systems that really can facilitate us, including also partnering with other organizations to support the implementation, and maybe Spark having more like a training role on the approach, and then support others to go on the ground and work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main focus currently, yeah, for the future.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Albert, for choosing to talk to us today on this platform, and for attending the forum, and for all the efforts that you placed to make this event a success. We are really grateful to you. Personal regards to Sasha, to Gilbert, to Lalit, to JP, and the rest in your team. Yeah. So thank you very much, and I am looking forward to more meaningful conversations like these ones.
Yeah, thank you too. It was really a pleasure for me to come and represent the organization for such an important forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looking for future opportunities and collaboration.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching this episode. My name is Purity Momo, and until next time, Murakoze.